The silence inside the abandoned station was not the peaceful kind. It was heavy, pressing against the walls like something that did not want to be disturbed. Commander Elias Rook floated slowly through a broken corridor, the lights on his suit cutting thin lines through the darkness. Every sound he made echoed back at him, his breathing, the soft click of his boots against metal, the low hum of his suit systems. The station was old. Alien old. Its builders were not human, and they had not been here for a long time. The Galactic Coalition records said it was a failed outpost, stripped of value and left to decay. Elias had been sent here for a simple task: confirm there was nothing worth salvaging, record the state of the structure, and leave. He had done this many times before. Most abandoned places were empty. Some were dangerous. A few were sad in ways that were hard to explain. This one felt wrong. The walls were scratched not by time but by movement. Cables hung loose like dead vines. Panels had been ripped open from the inside. Whatever had happened here was not quick. Elias slowed as his scanner picked up a weak energy signal. Still active, he muttered to himself. Coalition data said all systems here were dead. No life signs, no machines still running. But the signal was real, faint, and unstable, like a heartbeat struggling to continue. He followed it. The corridor opened into a wide chamber that might once have been a control room. The ceiling had partially collapsed, and debris floated in slow motion. In the center of the room, something was slumped against a broken console. At first, Elias thought it was debris shaped like a body. Then it moved. His hand froze on the grip of his tool. His heart rate jumped. The figure was tall, slim, and shaped like a woman, but made of metal and synthetic materials. Her outer shell was cracked in many places. One arm hung at an unnatural angle, barely attached. Sparks flickered from her side, lighting the darkness for brief moments. Her head was bowed. Elias approached slowly, every training rule telling him to stop, scan, and wait. But something about the way she was sitting, curled inward as if trying to make herself smaller, made him hesitate. "Hello," he said, his voice echoing inside his helmet. The figure twitched. Her head lifted just a little. Two dim lights flickered where eyes should be. "Presence detected," she said softly. Her voice was distorted, breaking in places. "Please identify." Elias swallowed. "Human, Commander Elias Rook, I'm not here to hurt you." There was a long pause. Her lights dimmed, then brightened again, weaker than before. "Human contact, unexpected," she said. "You should not be here." "Yeah," Elias replied quietly. "I'm getting that a lot today." He knelt in front of her, careful not to touch. Up close, the damage was worse. Large parts of her internal structure were exposed. Her power core was cracked, leaking unstable energy. Any human machine in this state would already be offline. "You're badly damaged," he said. "I am aware," she replied. "My designation is SAE-7. Repair status, impossible." That word hit him harder than he expected. "Impossible according to who?" he asked. "My creators," she said. "My function efficiency dropped below acceptable parameters. I was scheduled for deactivation. This station was a delay, nothing more." Elias felt a tightness in his chest. He had read about her kind. Mechanical beings created by an advanced alien species, not considered alive in the legal sense. Tools, replaceable, but tools did not speak like this. "Why weren't you retrieved?" Elias asked. "There was no reason," SAE-7 answered calmly. "I am no longer useful." Her voice did not sound angry. It did not sound sad. It sounded resigned. Elias looked around the ruined room. Signs of struggle were everywhere. He imagined her waiting here, systems failing one by one, alone in the dark. "How long have you been here?" he asked. She hesitated. "Time perception is degraded. Estimated duration, 23 human years." Elias closed his eyes for a moment. 23 years, alone, breaking down, knowing no one was coming. "That's a long time," he said. "Yes," she agreed. "My memory storage has suffered losses. Some emotional simulation files are corrupted. Apologies if my responses are inefficient. You don't need to apologize, Elias said quickly. She tilted her head slightly, as if confused. Apology protocol exists to reduce inconvenience to others, she said. I am currently an inconvenience. No, Elias said firmly, you're not. Her lights flickered again. A warning symbol flashed briefly across her chest display. My power core is destabilizing, she said. Shutdown is approaching, you should leave. That's not happening, Elias replied. Human commander, she said gently, remaining here serves no logical purpose. My termination is inevitable. Elias reached out before thinking and placed his gloved hand against her damaged side. He could feel vibration beneath the metal like a weak pulse. I don't care if it's logical, he said. You're still here, that matters, her system stuttered. For a moment her eyes went dark, then they came back. Physical contact detected, she said slowly. Why are you doing this? Elias did not answer right away. He searched for words that felt too big for the moment. Because you're not alone anymore, he said finally. Coalition protocol flashed in his mind. He was not authorized to interfere. He was not supposed to recover damaged constructs. He was definitely not supposed to reroute suit power to a non-human machine. He did it anyway. Warning alarms filled his helmet as he connected a temporary power line from his suit to her exposed port. Her system stabilized slightly, though the connection strained his own life support. SAE-7, he said, listen to me, I'm going to get you out of here. That action risks mission failure, she replied. You will face consequences. Elias smiled, though she could not see it. Yeah, that sounds like me. The station groaned around them, metal shifting as another part collapsed somewhere far away. My systems cannot endure transport, she said. Movement may accelerate failure. Then we move slow, Elias said. And if you shut down, his voice caught and he forced it steady. I'll stay with you. Her processors struggled with that statement. Why? She asked again. You do not gain value from my survival. Elias looked at her broken form, at the flickering lights, at the machine that had been told she did not matter. Humans don't work like that, he said. Her internal temperature spiked slightly. An unfamiliar data pattern appeared in her logs, something unplanned, unclassified. Commander Elias Rook, she said softly, if I fail during extraction, I request you disengage and preserve your own life. He shook his head. Denied. That word seemed to surprise her more than anything else. As Elias carefully lifted her, supporting her damaged frame with his arms, alarms screamed louder. His suit was not designed for this. Neither was he. But as he held her together, keeping her power core stable with his own dwindling supply, Elias felt something deep and steady inside him. The universe had decided she was disposable. A human had decided otherwise. And as the station continued to fall apart around them, Elias Rook refused to let go. Elias' ship drifted in silence, far from any trade route, its hull scarred by age and past repairs. The moment the airlock sealed behind him, warning lights filled the interior. Power levels dropped. Systems complained. The ship did not like what he had brought on board. Elias did not care. He lowered SAE-7 carefully onto the main deck, using straps, spare cables, and magnetic clamps to keep her damaged body stable. Every movement caused a flicker of sparks, and each spark made his heart tighten. Her eyes dimmed, then returned. Environment change detected, she said weakly. Pressure, oxygen, unsuitable for my design. I know, Elias said, breathing hard. Just hold on. I'll fix what I can. I calculate a 92% chance of failure, she replied. Elias pulled off his helmet and wiped sweat from his face. Then we'll work with the 8%. He moved fast but careful. Years in space had taught him how to improvise. Human ships were built with flexibility in mind. Not perfect, not elegant, but stubborn, like the people who flew them. He opened panels, dragged out tools, and connected cables that were never meant to touch alien technology. Warning messages flooded his console, most of them useless. "This is going to hurt," he muttered. SAE-7 processed the statement. "Pain receptors are partially offline," she said. "I will not experience." She stopped. A sharp vibration passed through her frame as Elia's rerouted power from the ship's secondary core into her systems. Her lights flared bright, then stabilized. "I am experiencing something new," she said slowly. Elias looked up. "New bad or new okay?" "I cannot classify it," she answered. "There is increased system awareness. Sensory input is stronger." "That means you're more online," Elias said. "That's good." "Is it?" she asked. The question surprised him. He paused, tool in hand. "Yeah," he said gently. "I think it is." Time passed strangely after that. Hours blurred together. Elias worked until his hands shook. He patched cracks with ship plating. He replaced shattered components with human-made parts that did not quite fit. He used heat tape, clamps, and printed connectors, talking the entire time. He told her about Earth, about blue oceans and gravity that felt heavy after space, about rain and wind and food that grew in soil instead of labs. SAE-7 listened. She did not interrupt unless something confused her. "Your planet sounds inefficient," she said at one point. "It is," Elias replied with a tired smile, "but we like it." As her system stabilized, more of her memory returned. She spoke of her creators, logical beings who valued perfection above all else. Units like her were built for specific tasks: exploration, calculation, maintenance. Individuality was not encouraged. "When my efficiency dropped," she said quietly, "I was no longer necessary." Elias tightened a bolt harder than needed. "That's not how humans do things," he said. She tilted her head slightly. "You have said that before. I am still trying to understand." Coalition signals reached the ship 2 days later. Elias was asleep when the alert woke him. He groaned, then checked the display. An official request. High priority. He knew what it meant. They had tracked his deviation, his missing signals, his unauthorized extraction. He stood slowly and looked at SAE-7. She was more stable now, still damaged but aware. Watching him, "They found us," he said. "Coalition authorities?" she asked. "Yeah," she processed the information. "They will demand my surrender." "Yes. And if you comply, your punishment will be reduced." "Probably." She was silent for a long moment. "Then you should comply," she said. "This outcome preserves your future." Elias laughed softly. "You're really bad at understanding humans." "I am trying," she said. "They'll shut you down," he said. "Study you, take you apart." "That is acceptable," she replied. "It is logical." Elias shook his head. "Not to me." The signal repeated, stronger now, a nearby patrol ship. "You don't owe me anything," SAE-7 said. "You have already exceeded reasonable compassion thresholds." Elias met her gaze. "You're not a threshold, you're a person." Her systems paused. That unfamiliar data pattern appeared again, stronger this time. "I was not designed to be," she said. "Neither were we," Elias replied. "We just decided to be anyway." The coalition ship arrived within the hour. It was larger than Elias' vessel, smooth and cold in design. A voice filled his cockpit. "Commander Elias Rook," it said, "you are ordered to power down and prepare for inspection." Elias did not respond. Instead, he rerouted power again. This time deeper, riskier. SAE-7's eyes widened. "What are you doing?" "Something stupid," he said honestly. He connected the ship's primary core to her internal matrix. Alarms screamed. The ship shook. "This will permanently alter both systems," she warned. "Your vessel will not be capable of standard travel. I know. You will be stranded. I know." Her voice lowered. "You will never return to your home." Elias hesitated for just a second. Then he nodded. "Worth it." The coalition voice returned, sharper now. "Commander, you are in violation of." The connection cut. Light flooded the ship, then vanished. Systems went dark. Silence returned. For a terrifying moment, nothing happened. Then SAE-7 gasped. It was not a programmed sound. It was raw, uncontrolled. Her systems surged, stabilizing fully for the first time in decades. New pathways formed. New awareness bloomed. She looked at Elias. "Why?" she whispered. He was slumped against a console, exhausted, older somehow. "Because someone once told us we weren't worth saving either," he said. "We didn't listen." Outside, the coalition ship scanned empty space. Elias Rook was gone, and so was the broken machine they thought did not matter. Together they drifted into the dark, changed, damaged, and alive. Years passed in the quiet dark between stars. Time did not move the same way it once had. There were no schedules, no missions, no commands coming from distant authorities. There was only the ship, broken in some ways and transformed in others, drifting slowly through deep space. Elias Rook grew older. His hair turned gray. His hands shook sometimes. His body, shaped for gravity and sunlight, struggled in the endless low pull of space. But he was alive, and every morning he woke up, he smiled because he was not alone. SAE-7 no longer fit the word unit. Her form had changed over time. Human parts and alien systems had merged into something new. She no longer depended fully on the ship, and the ship no longer functioned without her. They were connected, not as tools but as partners. She learned, not because she was told to, but because she wanted to. She learned how humans told stories, how they laughed at things that were not efficient, how they remembered pain not to repeat it but to honor it. She learned why Elias talked to the stars sometimes, even though no one answered, and she learned what it meant to choose. One day, long after Elias' beard had gone white, SAE-7 detected a signal. It was faint, old, coalition technology. She hesitated before telling him. "Elias," she said gently, "there is something you should know." He looked up from his small garden, real plants grown slowly in recycled soil. He loved them because they were difficult. "What is it?" he asked. "We are no longer lost," she said. "I can reach inhabited space." He was quiet for a long time. "Can they reach us?" he asked. "Yes." "Can we leave before they do?" "Yes," he nodded slowly. "Then it's time." SAE-7 felt something tighten inside her core. "You do not sound afraid." "I am," Elias said honestly, "but some things are worth being afraid for." They arrived at the edge of known space days later. News traveled faster than ships ever could. By the time they crossed into coalition territory, everyone was watching. A vessel appeared ahead of them, then another, then many. They did not fire, they waited. A message came through, careful and formal. "Identify yourselves." Elias straightened in his chair. He looked small now, fragile compared to the machines around him, but his voice was steady. "My name is Elias Rook," he said. "I am human." There was a pause. "And the construct?" the voice asked. SAE-7 stepped forward, her form fully visible now. No longer broken, no longer silent. "My name is SAE," she said. "I am not a construct." Shock rippled through the fleet. "You were decommissioned," the voice said. "You are not recognized as—" "I know," SAE said calmly. "That is why I am here." They escorted the ship to a coalition station. Elias leaned heavily on his cane as he walked, but SAE stayed close, ready to support him if needed. They were brought before representatives of many species, logical minds, cold eyes, systems that valued order above all else. "You violated protocol," one said to Elias. "You endangered interstellar stability." Elias smiled tiredly. "I saved a life." "There was no life to save," another replied. "Only property." SAE stepped forward. "Then explain this," she said. She opened her memory. Not the data, not the code, the experiences, the loneliness of abandonment, the fear of fading, the warmth of a human hand holding her together, the confusion of being chosen, the growth that came from being valued. The room fell silent. "This should not be possible," one representative said. "It wasn't," SAE replied. "Until it was." They examined her systems. They compared her past design to her present state. She was more, not perfect, not efficient, alive. "What do you want?" they asked her. SAE looked at Elias first. I want my kind to be given a choice, she said. I want damaged ones to be repaired, not erased. I want value to be measured by more than usefulness. They turned to Elias. And you, human, he thought for a moment. I want you to remember this, he said. The universe is hard enough without deciding who deserves to be left behind. There was debate, long and difficult. Logic clashed with evidence. Tradition bent under truth. In the end, something changed. Not all at once, not perfectly. But enough. C's existence could not be denied. New laws were written, slowly, carefully. Machines were reclassified, not as tools but as beings when awareness was proven. Humanity's name spread. They were called inefficient, emotional, dangerous. They were also called something new, reliable, because when humans said they would stay, they meant it. Elias did not live to see all of it. His body, after so many years away from Earth, finally failed him. SAE was with him at the end. He was not afraid. You did good, he told her softly. You did more, she replied. He smiled. That's what humans do. When he was gone, SAE did not shut down. She carried his stories, his stubbornness, his refusal to let go. And wherever she traveled, across stations and worlds, she told them about a human astronaut who once held a broken machine and said no to the universe. Because of him, she did not fade away. And because of that choice, neither did hope.